podcast. I am your host, Cosmic Waters. May my words inspire you and remind you to remain true to you as you walk authentically in your truth, dripping self-love and unapologetically choosing you. Hello, naked truthers. Welcome back. So this episode, we're going to dive into the vegan lifestyle of mine and how it's true to me, right? We'll call this the Vegan Chronicles. But first, let's do a little backstory. So before I transitioned into the vegan lifestyle, I was at my heaviest. I was 287 pounds. I had a bunch of body ailments, a lot of different pains. I dealt with high blood pressure issues, but not to the point to where they was like, oh, well, you got to pop pills for it. It was just whenever I would go to a doctor for a checkup or whatever the case may be, my blood pressure was always elevated above what was considered the normal level. I was, pre-diabetic. I was told I had PCOS. I was told that, I just needed to really lose weight because they consider me on the obese scale. And then I dealt with a bunch of digestive issues, right? And so it was like my body began to reject every fucking thing that I would put in it, no matter what it was. It was tired of it, everything, and it was just rejecting. And something was always making my stomach hurt. It was always some discomfort. And it just got to the point to where it's like, yo, I'm tired of this. I can't live my life like this. Pepto-Bismol was my best fucking friend. Okay, I don't even know how much money I spent on it, but I promise you they made a pretty penny off of me, okay? Because I always had a bottle or two by my side, one in my purse, one at home. Didn't leave the house without it. I would always pop 2 pills, maybe more, sometimes 3 or 4 before I left the house, just to make sure my stomach was good. No matter where I was going, I needed that security. It became like a safety net. I needed to take it. And I'm quite sure my body probably got immune to it at some point, because sometimes when I would deal with the stomach discomfort, that Pepto-Bismol didn't do shit. And I would end up popping Imodium AD, but I couldn't overdose on that because that shit was super strong. And if I took too much of that, it would literally make me constipated. So that was emergency only. But, back then I didn't see it as my body just trying to release what was being rejected. I was just like, oh, I'm in pain. I need to stop. I'm tired of shitting. Stuff of that nature, right? So, yeah, Pepto-Bismol was my best friend. And it was like a panic. I didn't even feel comfortable going somewhere because I'm like, man, what if I got to shit? I go out. And, it's now I got to find a bathroom. Stuff like that, right? And public bathrooms usually are a disaster. But okay. So that was some of the health issues that I was experiencing before I ventured on this beautiful vegan lifestyle, right? And also I was dealing with period issues. So my cycle was irregular. It had always really been irregular all my life. And I was finally off of birth control, so I had stopped taking birth control in 2016. So by 2018, which I probably should have started off with that, I transitioned to becoming a vegan in 2018. August of 2018, right, is when I started my journey. So that's a little bit of the backstory as far as my history, what I was dealing with health-wise. And then it was just something was just pulling me. I guess you could say it was a sign from spirit, or my body was just nudging me to go towards the vegan lifestyle. And so I tried it. Honestly, I didn't know what the fuck I was getting myself into. I just knew I needed a change. I knew I was tired of living the way I was living. I knew I was damn near close to 300 pounds and my body was not happy. And I refused to be a diabetic. I refused to to have to take pills for blood pressure. I refused. That wasn't the life that I wanted to live. Like, I'm like, no, I have so much life ahead of me, and that's not the way I want to go down, And diabetes runs heavily in my family on both sides. They also deal with high blood pressure, and I was just like, I refuse. I'm not subjecting myself to that when I know that I can make a change. Oh, I also had an extreme addiction to sugar. Extreme. I crave something sweet damn near every day. It was literally like, I was like a drug addict for sugar. A lot of it was me emotionally eating, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, so a lot of my weight gain came from junk food, me eating sugar, overdosing on sugar. And so I just want y'all to keep in mind that point, because I used to be able to just pile on the sugar, eat it, and not pay attention to the effects that it had on my body, right? Okay, so fast forward, as far as the meat groups, so before I became vegan, right, I stopped eating pork and beef way before I became vegan in 2018. So beef was the first meat group that I stopped eating, because it was my stomach started rejecting it slowly, and every time I would eat it, it would just make me feel sick. So that was already out of my diet, right? And then pork was the second meat group that kind of just turned me off eventually, and I was like, oh, I can't eat this anymore. So I stopped eating pork, right? Okay, cool. So now when you get into the meat groups that I had to cut off, and I kind of just went cold turkey. It was chicken, turkey, and then seafood. Now seafood wasn't a big one for me because I wasn't a huge seafood fan, honestly. The only thing that I would eat seafood wise was maybe some shrimp here and there, and then certain kinds of fish, but I wasn't really huge on it, right? Now chicken was the number one thing for me. I loved me some chicken. Oh my God, especially Popeyes, y'all. Popeyes was bae. But then right before I became a vegan, I got a taste of Chick-fil-A, and oh my motherfucking God, that shit was so good. Oh my God. But I didn't really get a chance to dance with Chick-fil-A that long. The only thing I got to taste from there was their chicken biscuit, and then or is it a biscuit or a sandwich? I don't remember. No, I think it was a chicken biscuit. One of my coworkers had bought me a chicken biscuit, and it was so good, and I was so excited. Oh my God. And then I believe I had their nuggets and their waffle fries. Yo, those waffle fries are they be hitting. Okay, anyway, so yeah, it was the chicken for me, because even when it came down to turkey, I wasn't a huge turkey eater. I would use ground turkey for my spaghetti and stuff like that, or if I wanted to create a turkey burger, or turkey bacon, stuff of that nature. But it was the chicken. So I went cold turkey. I cut it all off. Stopped eating all the meat groups at once, right? And anything dairy, basically, because that's what being a vegan consists of. Because a lot of people, when I tell them I'm vegan, they're like, oh, so you don't eat no kind of meat? No, I don't. So you don't eat fish? No, fish is meat in my eyes. So no, I don't eat fish. I get asked that question all the time, and it blows my mind, because I'm like, y'all, it's meat. It's still meat. And then it's well, can you eat eggs? No, because that's considered animal products. So no, I can't eat anything that comes from an animal. And then they'll continue to go down the list, and it's just funny to me, because I'm vegan does not consist of any meat, animal products at all, but y'all still ask me these questions. So I'm used to it now. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, so I went cold turkey, and in the beginning, I can't front, it was a little difficult. The temptation was real, because I lived in a house with people who still cooked meat, especially chicken. And in the beginning, the meat still smelled good to me, right? So pay attention to this fact too. So in the beginning, when I was first transitioning over, I still loved the smell of it. But I didn't give in. I was committed. And, I began to explore different vegetables. Ooh, speaking of vegetables. So here's another fun fact. Before I transitioned into becoming a vegan, I fucking hated vegetables. And that may sound wild, but it's the truth. I can sit here and admit and be honest with y'all that I was not really a vegetable eater before I became vegan. The only vegetable that you would catch me eating back in the day was string beans or green beans, whatever you want to call them. Maybe some broccoli here and there. But that was pretty much it for like the greenery. Yeah. Everything else I was kind of just like, fuck a vegetable, right? And so, becoming vegan tested all that. And so now I had to experiment with different vegetables I had never tried before. Some of the stuff I was like, what the fuck is this? I've never even heard of this. So it was all like a exploration. I was like Dora the Explorer out here, but in the vegetable field, right? And so raw vegan didn't quite work for me. I tried it, but in the beginning, starting off like that, it was definitely something that made me want to run away from it. And so I was like, okay, cool. I can't make this something that is gonna keep me on this track, because at this point I'm over it. So I was like, okay, no, I gotta cook my vegetables. So basically I began cooking them, and I began experimenting with different vegetables. And yeah, I didn't really follow recipes. It was just, let me throw this, that, and the third in the pot, see how it comes out. And that's still how I cook to this day. I don't really follow recipes unless there is something that I truly want to create. Like I seen somebody make it online, I'm like, so how the fuck did they do this? And let me follow their recipe. And then if I don't like what's in that recipe, I could tweak it to my liking. But other than that, I'll take, whatever comes to mind, chop it up, and throw it in the pan, season it how I want to season it, and boom, I create from there, and I eat like that. And so that's what that's how I began cooking and trying different things. And now I fucking love vegetables. They are amazing, right? And it's all about how you season it. It's all about the flavor you put in it. It's all about the love you put into it, right? And like, you couldn't tell me anything different. I gotta have a vegetable on my plate every motherfucking day. Like, I could literally sit here and eat a bowl of kale or eat a bowl of mushrooms or whatever the case may be, and be thoroughly satisfied. That wouldn't have rocked back in the day. Especially spinach. Y'all, I fucking hated spinach. Spinach was the grossest thing ever to me back in the day. And now, it don't bother me. I'm cool with it. Like, I'll eat a bowl of spinach. So, a lot of things have shifted. Like I said, I expanded. I tried new things. Now, one vegetable that I'm still trying to wrap my taste buds around is eggplant. I don't know, it's something with the texture. So I'm gonna figure it out, because there's many different ways to cook it. I had it grilled and I didn't care for it. It was like, the texture was odd as fuck, and I just like, I can't eat this. So, I'm experiment with it though, and see what I can do with that. Somebody told me to try eggplant soup or something. I forgot the name. I forgot the meal of it. So if you're listening to this, no disrespect, but it was one of my Haitian friends, and she was saying that if I had a Haitian create the soup for me, that I would love eggplant from that. I never got a chance to taste it though, but yeah. So that's one that I still can't quite wrap my taste buds around, but it is what it is. I did fall in love with a lot of different vegetables and fruits too. It expanded my palate for different kinds of fruits too. Like, I started eating dragon fruit. I had never had that before. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't remember what else I experimented with so far, but dragon fruit was definitely amazing. And jackfruit is amazing too. Oh my God. It's so versatile what you can do with it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay. So, yeah, I just started. That's the way I cook. So a lot of people are like, well, can you give me recipes? And I'm like, well, I don't really measure anything. I can, I can tell you what I used, but I don't really do measurements. I just chop shit up and I go with the flow of what I'm feeling in that day. I listen to my body. Some people call it intuitive eating. So, what is my body asking for in this moment? Because your body will crave certain things that it needs. And like, when I go through an extreme period of craving something, like I went through a period of craving grapefruits, and I was like, why the fuck am I craving grapefruits? And so I looked up the benefits of eating a grapefruit and what minerals and nutrients does it provide to the body. And then every now and then I'll have a wave where I'll go through craving mangoes, and I just honor what my body wants. I'll crave watermelon, or I'll heavily be craving avocados, or I'll crave mushroom, and I just go with the flow, whatever it is, because I know that whatever is in that vegetable or that fruit, that my body needs it. Oh, and y'all, chickpeas. Oh my fucking God. Chickpeas are like my best friend. Hummus is life, but just chickpeas alone, I can eat them by themselves. Literally. They don't even have to be seasoned or flavored. I could just eat them as is, naked as fuck. They make a great snack. Let's see. So that's for the cooking. So that's one of the things that shifted for me. I used to be a vegetable hater, and now I am a vegetable lover, right? Okay, and so what else shifted? The smell of meat. So I fucking hate it now. Can't stand it. Literally makes me want to vomit. I hate being around it. Like the smell of bacon. Oh my fucking God. It is torture to my nose. I hate the way beef smells, pork smells. Like, ew. Like, it all fucking stinks. The only meat that doesn't really bother me when it's being made is chicken. I no longer have a desire to eat it though. But it doesn't make me want to vomit like the other smelling meat does. And so it blew my mind when I first, like, as my body began to shift and I stopped eating it for like a month or two, like those first couple of months, I was like, why the fuck does this smell like this is the true smell of meat? And it was like, I couldn't even smell this before. But it's like when you get into that shift, I begin to become sensitive to certain things. It's like my senses begin to enhance. Like my sense of smell has like enhanced, and I'm like, holy fuck, meat stinks. It just fucking stinks. It is what it is. So that's another thing that shifted for me. Oh, and if we go and get back into the health issues, I no longer deal with any of those issues. So I started out, like I told you, at like 287. I made my way down to 222. That was the smallest I got down to. And I got down to all that with no exercise at all. I had no exercise routine. If I got any kind of movement in, it was literally maybe me walking around, but I wasn't even consistent with that, right? So everything, all that weight fell off from literally me monitoring what I was putting in my body. That's it, the diet side of the game. And I don't mean like a diet as in I'm on some strict, oh, well, don't eat this. No, because I see me being a vegan as a lifestyle and not necessarily a diet, right? Because I feel like there's anything that can be made regular, I can make vegan. I can tweak it and make it vegan wise. So yeah, definitely. So I lost the weight. I have gained some of it back recently, but I'm still a vegan. It's just that the way I was eating shifted. So I began to eat like more starchy stuff, and I kind of put the weight back on. I went through like a stress period, and I began, because vegans, there is like junk food for vegans too. So I began eating like crap that I shouldn't have been eating, like more of the processed stuff. So more of the the frozen foods in the freezer, the packaged processed shit, things of that nature. And I just began to really steer off the track of the fresh fruits and veggies and more of the healthy side. And so I packed on some weight. And like I said, when you become a vegan, if you do go down the category of a lot of starches, that will do one of two things. It will put on weight for you, or it will keep you at a certain weight. And so I kind of have a love for potatoes, but I was like overindulging in it. It was not a balance. And like I said, I wasn't working out, so I began gaining some of my weight back. But hey, it's all an experience. I'm grateful for the experience as a whole, because that was a lesson within itself, right? Okay, cool. So got that down as far as the weight. Oh, my blood pressure straightened out. So I think for the first time ever, like that I can remember, it was actually, the 120/80, right? I was like, oh shit, I made progress. It's not high anymore. Let me see. What else did I tell y'all I dealt with? Oh, I was no longer pre-diabetic. I no longer dealt or was diagnosed with like PCOS issues. I no longer have digestive issues either. So what I mean by that is I no longer take fucking Pepto-Bismol. Matter of fact, I don't take any over-the-counter medicine, honestly. I don't put that shit in my body. I haven't taken any kind of over-the-counter medicine in like 4 or 5 years now. Because I just don't believe in it anymore. I refuse to pop a pill. So, and if y'all are wondering, like, okay, what do you do if you're in pain or something like that? Herbs. Nature is the cure. Nature is the medicine, and she always will be. Shout out to Mother Earth. Facts though, herbs. There's an herb for everything. And when I'm not using herbs, then okay, I have other means like energy healing to help soothe pain. You have the solfeggio frequencies to help soothe pain, 174 hertz. Look up that one. What else? I have crystals. I have my mindset. Like, you could literally talk your body out of pain. But okay, I'm getting off track here. So, yeah, I don't pop pills. So I stopped taking Pepto-Bismol. I no longer needed that. And let's see. Everything changed. So I was no longer in pain. I no longer dealt with my body rejecting the foods. I no longer dealt with extreme, like, cramps or even experiencing like diarrhea or any of that shit. Like, my body just kind of eased. It changed. My digestive system was like, I don't know, it just like healed itself. It had like a break, and it was happy. So yeah, I didn't deal with any more digestive issues. The only time now that I will literally experience like any discomfort with my digestive system is like if I eat something that I already know doesn't agree with me. For instance, when it comes to tofu, depending on the brand, sometimes my body accepts it, sometimes it doesn't. So it's always like taking a chance with that. So I'm not a big tofu eater. Cashews, for whatever reason, my body rejects cashews, so I stay the fuck away from those. I love cashews though, but I can only maybe eat 5 at the most. Other than that, if I eat too many, it's a war zone within my stomach. Now, vegan cheese. So I was never a huge cheese eater, even before I became vegan. So I don't give a fuck about cheese. Like, it's not a necessity for me. And I know a lot of people actually have an addiction to cheese, but for me, it wasn't. Like, I am that person that despises macaroni and cheese. Like, that is me. I'm that oddball. I hate it. Like, what's the point of it? It's just cheese and noodles. Like, why? And then it's way too much cheese, right? So I never cared for that. You would never catch me eating like a piece of a block of cheese, or like, that's gross. I didn't care for it. Even like on my pizza back in the day, if it was too much cheese on it, I would pull it off. So I wasn't a heavy cheese eater then. So now on my vegan lifestyle, I don't crave cheese. I don't need it. But I have experimented with vegan cheese as far as like pizza wise to see like, okay, well, how does this taste? And what does it do for my pizza? Like, stuff like that. So vegan cheese, some of it my body tolerates, and other ones it's like, fuck out of here, what the fuck is this that you're putting into me? So I don't fuck with it too heavy, because like I said, if I can avoid pain, trust me, I'm going to. I don't want to do anything to purposely upset my stomach. So vegan cheese is a question mark there with that. Although, yeah, I'm not gonna even front, I do have a desire to attempt to make a vegan lasagna. I do. And one day I'm gonna do that shit. I just gotta find the perfect cheese, vegan cheese, to do it. There was a cheese that was suggested to me. I can't think of the name of it. Oh, I think it's Violife, if I'm not mistaken. That I had a few people suggest that to me to try it. I still haven't tried them yet, but if I do, I will let y'all know how that goes. And when I make my vegan lasagna, I will update y'all on that too. I'm excited about that. So let's see what else. Garlic. So y'all, like, in the beginning, garlic was bae. I was putting garlic on every fucking thing. Garlic and onions, like that, and peppers, like, that was just life. And then somewhere along the line, it was like, okay, my stomach was like, yo, you are overdosing on this motherfucking garlic. And so it began to reject it. And I just, listen, I go with the flow. If my body says no, it says no. And so I tried it a couple of different times, and every time I would eat it, it would like cause discomfort. So I stopped eating it, or I stopped eating it as heavily as I did. Right, so now if I do have a taste for garlic in my food, I will use like garlic powder instead of like chopping up the actual garlic itself and putting it in there, because for some reason it can create discomfort within. So like I said, I'll use garlic powder, and then it won't be that much. It'll be like just a little bit, just enough to get the garlic flavoring. And so let's see. Oh, and of course, anything that is like too oily or too greasy, yeah, my stomach not fucking with that. So I stay away from that as well. And when it comes to like the heavier food, so okay, for instance, oatmeal, it can be considered heavy to me, right? Because it's just like, it just sits there in my stomach, and I'm just like, so I don't eat oatmeal often. I also don't crave bread like I used to. So I used to be a bread lover, but now if I consume bread, it's just like, it's heavy to me. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but it's like, it just has this heaviness, and I don't be wanting to feel that. So I don't crave bread, so I don't really eat it. So back to talking about the sugar, right? Now, I told y'all I was a sugar addict. Now I cannot eat sugar like that. If I do, my body makes me feel the consequences immediately. I'll get a headache. I'll just feel fucked up. I'll feel low on energy. Like, it makes me feel awful as fuck. So I cannot consume sugar in the way that I used to, especially not white sugar. I attempt to stay far away from white sugar. I do not put white sugar in my tea. If I drink tea, or I should say when I drink tea, because I'm a tea lover, it is agave that's sweetened in my tea, or honey. Now, yes, I am a vegan that consumes honey. Some vegans out here don't consume honey because it comes from the bees, but the way I live my life, I still consume honey, and I don't feel guilty about it. So yeah, I don't put sugar on anything, right? The white sugar is death. It really is. Now, I can consume fruits that have sugar in it and be fine, but when it comes to like vegan snacks that have sugar, or just sugar that isn't inside of a fruit, I guess, my body be like, what the fuck are you doing? What is this? Oh, okay, so you want to play me? So then it begins to make me deal with the consequences of it. And I don't like pain, y'all. I don't like discomfort. So I've learned to avoid it. And don't get me wrong, every now and then I do have a sugar craving here and there. I won't sit here and pretend like I don't crave ice cream every once in a while. And they do have non-dairy ice cream made from either coconut milk or soy milk, or even almond milk. There's cashew milk. There's all different kind of non-dairy ice creams that you can find that are vegan friendly. I usually indulge in like the coconut milk one every once in a blue moon, but even with that, I can't consume that whole ice cream pint, because if I do, it gives me a fucking headache. So yeah, that's my difference when it comes to sugar. So I'm no longer a sugar addict, but I do get cravings every once in a while. Let's see. Oh yeah, so my period became regular. I've noticed that. I no longer deal with like period issues, honestly, and it's very rare that I experience any kind of pain from my period too. That has pretty much become non-existent. And I don't deal with, this might be a little TMI, but I'm being honest, right? I don't deal with blood clots anymore within my period. And I used to deal with that a lot. And I no longer have those, like, at all. No exaggeration. I don't deal with them at all, right? Okay, so moving on. It just made me become more conscious of what I put into my body. I also drink way more water now than I ever did. Before, I was a juice fiend, of course, which is more motherfucking sugar. But I drink way more water now. I don't really drink juice often unless I just crave like some flavor. So the juice that I do consume is like fruit juice. I do not drink the juice that, I used to drink. So like the Arizonas, or what is it, Minute Maids. I don't drink that, because if you look at the back of the motherfucking carton, it'd be like 3% juice, 5% juice, maybe 10%. So it's like, what the fuck is the rest of that shit? What am I actually consuming? That bothers me now. Before, I didn't give two fucks, but now it bothers me. And I even tested it one day and tried to drink it, and I just couldn't do it. I didn't like the taste anymore. So it was like my own taste buds was like, fuck out of here. And then I allowed myself to consume some of it, and my body rejected it. So I was like, okay, no. It has high fructose corn syrup in it. And so I become very aware of the ingredient label too. So I read those now. I never thought that I would be this person. But I do read the labels of what am I consuming? What is in this ingredient? What am I putting in my body, And if I see high fructose corn syrup, I don't get it. I put it back. So yeah, juices consist of fruit juice. So like mango juice, pineapple juice, cranberry juice, grapefruit juice, things of that nature, beet juice, stuff like that. That is what I drink when I say I want juice. Okay, watermelon juice, yum. I have a juicer, so, Or sometimes I'll buy like the fruit juices out of the store. Arden's Garden makes really good fruit juice. But yeah, so that's what it comes down to when if I do have a taste for some flavor, then boom, I'm going straight to some sort of fruit juice, right? Or I may drink some tea. It just depends. So I do want to touch back on something when I talked about the labels, right? Be mindful on this journey of becoming a vegan. You're not fooled by the words on the label. The organic, all natural, even the word vegan on there. Sometimes I should be lying. Like I said, read the labels. I have been in a store and saw something that I wanted to try, and it said vegan on it, and I will look at the the ingredients on the back, and it'll say it has eggs. Well, how the fuck is it vegan with eggs in it? Or it has some sort of milk in it. And I'm just like, Houseway, this is not vegan. It's not vegan. So just be mindful, because they can trick you if you don't read those labels. And I've gotten home and had shit when I didn't read it, and now I can't consume it because it's not truly vegan as it says it was. So keep in mind, check those labels, be that person, okay? Now, I've been asked before in the beginning, like, did I become sick when I became vegan? Because, I've heard stories where people are like, oh, well, I got sick, so I stopped being vegan and went back to eating meat. Now, I want to touch on that because, yes, your body will go through a detox. Your body will go through withdrawal symptoms. And for everybody, it's going to be different. Everybody's body is not going to act the same, right? Or respond the same. So for you, you may not experience what I did and vice versa. So, yes, you may go through some withdrawal symptoms, and you may go through a period of detoxing to where, it's like a level of discomfort in the beginning. Understand all those toxins are coming up to the surface to now be released by your body. And then you have to also understand that those parasites from the meat and whatever else you were consuming are now like, yo, where the fuck is the meat? And you're no longer feeding those cravings. You're no longer feeding those parasites, right? And so like I said, you're going to go through that detox period. So it's not that you got sick because you became a vegan. You may have experienced some nausea or some diarrhea or withdrawal symptoms from the fact that your body was detoxing in the beginning process of you transitioning over to being vegan. So I just want to put that out there because I hear that a lot, and I'm like, well, I don't think veganism itself made you sick. It was the detox process in the very beginning that you experienced that scared you, and now you ran back to eating meat. And it is what it is. I'm not judging anybody, but I'm just saying keep that in mind, that is something that you may experience in the very beginning, okay? So don't let that discourage you though, because once that process is over, trust me, you will feel the energy boost. You will experience the healthy changes within your body. Trust me, you will see the benefits of you, okay? Now, Did I become extremely sick in the beginning? No, I honestly don't remember experience like extreme sickness or anything out of the ordinary. I did go through a phase of like withdrawals though, especially when it came to the sugar, because when I said I was addicted, I was truly addicted to the sugar. I did go through a detox period, but it wasn't nothing traumatic, you know? And for me, I went cold turkey. So it was like I cut off all the meat groups at once. Well, the ones I was still eating. So before I became vegan, right, I was no longer eating beef or pork, right? So those two meat groups had already been taken out of my diet. Now, beef, I don't know, my body rejected it early on, and I couldn't handle it anymore. It was like it didn't even chew right to me. It was weird. So I stopped eating beef, and then pork began to disgust me. So it was like my body slowly prepared me for this transition, right? And then in 2018, the remaining meat groups that I had was pretty much chicken, turkey, and seafood. So I wasn't a big seafood eater, so I didn't really care about that. The only thing that I really ate seafood wise was maybe some shrimp here and there, and then some fish occasionally, but I wasn't a heavy seafood eater. Now turkey, okay, so I would make like turkey burgers, or I would use like ground turkey to make some spaghetti, or I would eat like turkey bacon. Chicken was really huge for me. It was like the number one thing was chicken. Chicken was bae. So everything else was kind of like okay. So especially Popeyes, y'all. Popeyes was bad. It really was. But anyway. Oh, and I feel like I already talked about this in the beginning, or am I having like a deja vu moment? No, I did, because I talked about the Chick-fil-A fries, because I was definitely getting ready to mention Chick-fil-A again. So y'all see right now with me mentioning this again, that chicken was life for me back then. I'm not even gonna edit that part out. So yes, I cut off all of those at once, including sugar. So my body kind of did, slap me with withdrawal symptoms quick, because it was like, oh, what happened to this, and where's that? Oh shit, she's not indulging in sugar no more. Oh, where's the chicken? What's going on? It was like a shock to my body, right? And now for some people, this may not be the best decision for you to do it this way. So take it step by step. Take one meat group at a time and cut it out. Do what works best for you, because what worked for me may not work for you, but I'm just sharing my experience. So if you know that you may struggle to cut off all of them at once, okay, then start off with the one that you don't eat that much of. So something that's the easiest to get away from, to kind of build you up from, being used to not having meat. And then make your way from there, step by step. It doesn't have to be done overnight, okay? So it's like trial and error. That's how this vegan lifestyle has been for me. Trial and error, trying and seeing what works best for me, tasting and seeing what I like and what I don't like. And if I don't like something, maybe trying to cook it a different way and seeing if I like it then. Or if I just don't like it, then fine, I just don't like it. I don't force myself to eat it. For instance, okra. Okra is fucking disgusting to me. It is the texture. I just cannot consume it. I don't like the way it smells. I know it is so beneficial for you, but I have not gotten over the texture. Is just so slimy, and it just makes me want to gag. So, if it came down to it and it was a life or death situation and I had to consume okra, then fine. But right here, right now, in this moment, I just can't. So that's what I'm saying. It's trial and error, what you like, what you don't like, and go from there. Ease your way in and have patience for yourself during this process, okay? Now, I've also had some people say, okay, well, while I'm bored, or I don't know what to cook or how to cook it. The possibilities are truly endless. Anything that you were eating before you became vegan, you can pretty much create vegan style, right? And so if you're really not understanding like how, Google some recipes. Go to YouTube University. It is there to help you. Pinterest, Instagram. There's a lot of vegan IG profiles. Like I said, search, research, find stuff. TikTok now has people cooking, vegan. Just type it in. They'll come up. And you'll be surprised at the many different recipes that will come up for you, okay? Now, if you just really need to feel like you have some meat on your plate because you're so used to meat when you're first starting out, and it's just like, man, I need something to make me feel like I have meat, kind of like a placebo effect to trick your mind in a sense, right? There are many different ways that you can go about recreating that meat texture or that feeling like you have some meat, right? So something you can use, mushrooms, king oyster mushrooms. Oh my god, so fucking good, and their texture is amazing. Like, I love fried oyster mushrooms. Like, it's so good. And portobello mushrooms too. Like, you can literally make a burger with portobello mushrooms. So like, the possibilities are endless what you can do with mushrooms. And like I said, I love their texture. Jackfruit, fucking amazing. Like, I remember one time I had what was considered a pulled quote-unquote pork sandwich, but it was made out of pure jackfruit. There was no pork in this, and it was so good. It was like shredded jackfruit with some barbecue. So like, I mean, come on, there's so many different ways. And you can also fry jackfruit, cauliflower. There's many different ways you can make that. You can fry those too. Beans, you can make a black bean burger. Chickpeas, you can make a burger out of chickpeas. You can make chickpea tuna. Tofu, tempeh, seitan, spelt, pea protein, lentils. Like, you can make sloppy joe out of lentils. You can even use lentils as a form of quote unquote ground beef. Hemp seeds. You can even make meat, quote unquote meat, out of walnuts. Like, get creative. And like I said, if you don't know how to do it, look it up, because somebody has done it before you, and it's trial and error. And they also have like soy chunks, but understand some of the stuff your body may not agree with. So if you're not a fan of soy, then you want to look deeper into some of these that I did name to see if it has soy in it. Also, if you have like any gluten sensitivities, you want to double check on that as well before you just go diving into it. Because some of the stuff may contain wheat, like seitan. So just double check and see what works for you in your digestive system, okay? Now, I want to touch on something when it comes to the fruits, right? So, well, before I get into that, be mindful of the things that I just mentioned, right? Especially more so of like the soy products, things of that nature. You don't want to make this something that you overindulge in all the time, especially if you're going to try like the more processed meats, like Beyond Meat, Impossible Burger, Gardein, all the vegan brands that are out there. And this is not me shaming them in any way or slandering their name. What I'm saying is, be mindful that this is processed stuff, and so you don't want to become a freezer section vegan. So now every time you're going to the store, you're just grabbing something out the frozen vegan section. You don't want to do that, okay? It doesn't hurt to maybe indulge in it every now and then if that's what you choose to do. No judgment, because I have tried some of the stuff in the frozen vegan section. Some of it tastes amazing, other of it was fucking disgusting. But just be mindful of the fact that it is still processed, okay? And so if you're trying to move completely away from processed stuff, then this is something that you definitely don't want to have on your plate every single night, okay? Now, back to the fruits. So be mindful of mixing certain fruits together. I don't know if people know this, but not all fruits are supposed to be mixed together. And this is something that came as a shock to me, y'all, because you have like 3 categories, or maybe more, but of fruits. So like, you have the acidic, the subacidic, and then you have what is considered sweet fruits. So acidic fruits are like grapefruits and strawberries, right? And then you have more of the subacidic, which is like peaches and pomegranates, right? Now you can mix those 4 together. The acidic can go with the acidic, right? But when you start getting into the bananas are not actually supposed to be mixed with any of those acidic fruits, because it's more on the sweet side, right? I never knew that. I love bananas mixed with my other fruits. So when I found this out, I was like, what? Because I used to always do that for my smoothies. But it can actually cause discomfort when you mix the acidic with the sweet fruits. It can cause discomfort in your digestive system, right? Also, melons are supposed to be eaten with melons. So your watermelons, your cantaloupe, your honeydew melons, they're not really supposed to be mixed with any other fruit as you get ready to digest them. They're supposed to be eaten within their same group of melons. Now, you're also not supposed to mix fruit and vegetables together because your fruits digest faster than your vegetables do. And like I said, it can hinder the digestive process and cause discomfort within the body. Like you may experience a headache or nausea, or your body just may react to it differently. You're wondering like, damn, I just had a smoothie. Why did it make me feel this way? It's supposed to be healthy. Because what are you mixing in your smoothie? What are you mixing together? Got to be mindful of that, okay? Like for instance, they say you should never mix carrots and oranges together, or guava and bananas together. Like those are two things that you should never mix together because it causes certain discomfort. Like I believe guava and bananas can cause like nausea, and they say mixing carrots and oranges can cause like heartburn or acid reflux. So just be mindful of what you're putting in your smoothies. Don't just throw all that shit together. Pay attention first, you know. Also, I want to touch on breakfast. It's not supposed to be your most heavy meal. And I know we've been taught that, and that's how we've been brought up, right? All the biscuits, the bacon, the sausage, the potatoes, the home fries, the hash browns, the pancakes, the waffles, French toast, eggs, the whole nine, right? Grits, oatmeal. Yeah, you're not supposed to have a big ass spread for breakfast. You are waking up, right? And your body detoxes from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. in that period of time when you first wake up, right? And if you think about the word breakfast, it literally has the words break fast. You are breaking your fast in the morning. So you don't want to pile on a bunch of heavy shit in your stomach, in your digestive system. Like that's not what you're supposed to do. And so, you know, eat fruit when you first wake up, or drink some tea, or drink some lime water, some lemon water, something of that nature. Maybe eat an apple, something light. And then just to hold you over until noontime, between like 12, 1, 2, you can kind of eat a little bit on the heavier side. You know, that midday meal can be a little bit on the heavier side, okay? And also, you don't want to have a fucking extra heavy dinner either, because your digestive system, if you eat a heavy dinner, especially if it's super late too, your body is now going to sleep doing extra work, right? So that means your digestive system is now working to digest what you just ate, right? And so as you're sleeping, your body can't really rest or rejuvenate you as it needs to, because it's working on digesting that food that you eat. So be mindful that you're not eating too close to the time that you go to bed, right? And also that your dinner is not super duper heavy as well, okay? Now, live your best life. Do what works for you. I'm just throwing tips out there of what could possibly affect your digestive system. That's all. I'm not trying to tell you how to live. Just throwing some pointers and some tips, okay? So like I said, it's trial and error for everybody. Find what works best for you. This is just some of the things that I've learned and experienced on my vegan journey. And yeah, it's been an interesting ride at this point. So one more thing I want to mention before I close out this episode is back to my sense of smell, because I told y'all like that had became heightened, right? So my whole body overall had became more sensitive. So there's certain products now that like I can't even be around. So like bleach is like death to me. Breathing it in, it gives me a headache instantly. It makes me feel sick, like I feel like I have to throw up. And it will make me feel like I'm suffocating from the inside out. So I can't really be in the presence of bleach. Like I literally have to go to fresh air immediately. That's like mostly for any cleaning products, but more so bleach, because bleach is so strong. And let's see. So certain candles too with that like really perfumey scent. So Bath and Body Works, I cannot be in that store for a very long time. Maybe like 5 minutes, and my body starts to throw out danger warning signals like, hey, you need to go to fresh air, because I'll begin to feel weird. I'll begin to get a headache. So I can't even light a Bath and Body Works candle. I don't buy them anymore. I loved them back in the day, but now my body doesn't allow me to have them, because like having them lit in my presence is just uncomfortable. And I don't indulge in them. Also, those little plug-in air fresheners, nope, can't do it. Body doesn't like it. Can't breathe that shit in either. It's like suffocating to me. Let's see, what else don't my body allow me to basically breathe in? That's all that's coming to me in this moment that I can think of. But yeah, I have gotten very sensitive when it comes to smells, when it comes to certain chemicals, when it comes to just like certain things that I eat. It's just my awareness overall, my body has increased, amplified. Honestly, I love it because it's like before it was suppressed, and now I can pick up on those warning signals, whereas before I probably just fucking ignore them, or I don't ever really remember experiencing them, honestly. So this point in my life, when it first started, it was new to me, but now I've gotten used to it, and I'm like, okay, when I receive those signals from my body, I'm like, okay, cool, let me listen, let me pay attention, like, let me honor the fact that I need to go move to fresh air, and that this shit is not healthy for me to be breathing in my body. It's like, hey, please get us to something fresh, get out of this space, don't consume that, don't eat that. Don't you fucking dare. So yeah, I honor it for what it is, you know, the sensitivities. I definitely do, and I'm grateful for it. And I still think the smell of meat is like the biggest mind blower to me, because it's just like, whoa, why does it smell why does it smell that way? Oh, and y'all, eggs stink too. They really do. I'm like, oh God, I used to love eggs. Why the fuck do they stink like this? Everything just fucking changes for the better, though. That's how I see it. And like I said, this may not be the best option for everyone. So trial and error. Find what works for you. If you have tried to embark on the vegan journey and it just didn't play out, cool. Like for me, I'm not one of those people that is like, oh, you have to become a vegan. I'm not forcing this down anybody's throat at all. I will share my experience, my stories, my wisdom, what works for me, but I'm not the judgy vegan type of person. I don't care if I'm around people who eat meat. Do what makes you happy. It doesn't bother me. Like, you know, I'm not out here like, oh, you're killing the animals. Like, I don't rub that in people's face. I don't force, you know what I mean? Everybody has a choice of how they choose to live their life. Do I love animals? Of course. But I'm not about to sit here and shame someone because they choose to eat a hamburger and I don't. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if I'm being truly honest, I didn't become vegan solely to save animals. I became vegan because my body, my spirit, my soul was pushing me towards a more healthier lifestyle. That's why I became vegan. So it was really for me, you know, in all honesty. Right? So I'm not here to shame anybody, but I'm here to answer as many questions as I can. And like I said, share my experience and what I do know from the past 4 years of embarking on, you know, a lifestyle. And I love it. And I honestly don't ever see myself eating meat again. Oh, if you were wondering if I ever had like a moment to where I gave into temptation, no. It's been 4 years and I have not consumed any meat, and I never will again. The only meat that I have consumed is man meat. Delicious, grade A man meat. Oh. Okay, anyway, that was a little raunchy, but still, I have not consumed any meat within the last 4 years, and like I said, I don't plan to. I don't desire it. I don't crave it anymore. I don't see myself ever eating it again. And I know they say never, but I really don't. I don't see myself going backwards, because I know all the health benefits that have come from me switching my diet or switching what I put into my body. So if it has worked out for me, why the fuck would I go backwards? You know? I don't ever want to be where I used to be with all those health issues, all those digestive issues. I don't want that shit. I've made so much progress. So yeah, no, I don't ever see myself returning, because I get asked that question too a lot. Like, do you ever crave meat? No. Do you ever plan on going back? No. I don't currently at this point in my life. So yeah, I do believe I have answered all the questions that I can remember people ask me. Oh, so I did want to mention, I was just about to close out, but I wanted to mention, right? Don't allow people to scare you away from becoming vegan because they say you won't get enough protein. That just popped in my head at the last minute, right? Because in the beginning of this, people are like, well, how do you get your protein? You are protein deficient. I'm like, how are you going to tell me what I am deficient of? Like, what? Like, how do y'all think animals get their fucking protein? Like, I hated that in the beginning. It used to bother me. Now I just brush that shit off. I don't let it bother me anymore. I'm just like, okay, if that's what you think. But I'm healthy and I'm fine, thank you. Trust me, I get a lot of protein, so I'm good there. But don't let anybody, scare you away from trying to become vegan, because they're like, oh, you're going to suffer from that. No, not if you eat correctly. You will not suffer from that, okay? And also, a lot of people say they lose a lot of weight becoming vegan. Yeah, you can. You're shifting what you were eating. And so you have to find the balance, right? Because I lost 60-something pounds, which I needed, though. I needed to lose that. So I did get down to a really decent weight, but I was still thick, and I'm still thick now, even with some of the pounds that I did put back on. I'm a thick vegan, so don't let people scare you like, oh, you're gonna be skinny as fuck. Like, if it's something that you truly want to do not allow anyone to talk you out of it. Explore for yourself. Talk to people who have been on a journey for some time, that have experience, that have literally done this for years upon years, right? And can guide you and lead you and maybe point you in the right direction of what may have worked for them that you can try for yourself and see if it works for you, okay? But don't be scared away from it if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to embark on. And for some people, they're like, okay, well, I do need some kind of meat. And so they begin to venture into the pescatarian side of the game, right? Or they become vegetarian. So it just depends on what works for you and your body, and that's that. And I can't say that enough, okay? So that is all, my lovely listeners. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, you already know what to do. You can email me at tastemynakedtruth@gmail.com, or you can respond and leave a voice message for me to listen to on here. You can reach out to me on Taste My Naked Truth on IG. There are many different ways to contact me. My website is also listed here, so I'm available. If you have questions, let me know. I'm here to answer you in the best way that I possibly can. Okay? Much love and much gratitude. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. And remember, life is as beautiful as you allow it to be. The choice is yours. Perspective is key. So choose wisely. I will see y'all. I said next week last time, and here I am the next day. So I will see y'all when I have the urge to record again, which will probably be in a couple days. And if not, then I will see y'all next Wednesday. Much love always. Peace.